Yo, what up, everybody? Swahili Nation family and One Africa. Boy, I'm back today again for another live stream. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I'm very excited today to come and to have this conversation. And I'm not gonna be here for a long time because today, guys, we're releasing the video, the interview that I've done with Kenya's ambassador to South Korea. So I'm basically here to remind you guys that soon, after 1 hour and a half, we'll be releasing that video. So I'll be here for some time and then I will leave so that I may get ready for that release of that video. Yeah, but I thought that we should just come and have a conversation. I mean, this is last week. I believe we had a little bit of this conversation, and today I was just sitting in my room and thinking about the whole thing about Africa. And then I was like, why not having this conversation today with everybody? So if you're joining me right now, let me know where you're watching from. And soon from now, guys, I will share the link in the comment section and you guys will be able to participate in this live stream. Because right now you're watching and listening, but I don't know everything and I don't have knowledge of everything. But you guys, you know a lot. I mean, I always talk about unity. And it's basically because one person cannot do everything on his or her own. You always need collaboration and this unity. So I'll be sharing the link in the comment section soon after laying down the foundation so that you guys will be able to come here on the live stream, join me and share your opinion about this matter. Happy Sunday, everybody. All right, let me talk a little bit about this. So let me know in the comment section where you're watching from, and if you want to participate in this, I'll be sharing the link very soon. But also today we'll be releasing the video of the interview that I've done with Kenya's ambassador to South Korea. All right, the foundation. So as the title says, guys, the title say Black people are more than just entertainers. And I want to acknowledge that maybe not only Black people are watching this live stream right now, and I don't want to have stereotype like everybody who has like people they think that when you're talking about Africa you're only talking about black people. So let me just say this, that we have this stereotype that is going on right now in Africa, in the world, wherever you go, and I will share my personal experience how I'm facing that. All right, and the stereotype that we have is about races and what they can do or what they are good at. And so we translate this to something that, oh, this group of people, they can actually do this. They're actually these people. So we categorize people according to what they're good at. For instance, one of the very common stereotype that we have with black people, African in general, a lot of Africans and black people, they're really good at sports, right? They're very athletic. Look at all the soccer players. Most of soccer players, A-listers, they're Africans, black, right? Musicians, everywhere. Look at in the United States, a lot of rappers, musicians, a lot of successful musicians, black, right? The same thing even when you go to Africa. Um, you know, funny. Look at comedy, right? Majority of people who are doing that are black people. So, in a way, the society and the environment has categorized black people as um, entertainers, people who are good at entertainment. So here's the thing: not every black people can be entertainer. Not every black people can be funny person. Not every black people knows how to sing, or knows how to run, or knows how to dance, or knows all those kind of things. Not everybody can do those kind of things. And so, in a way, it put for those people who cannot do that thing, where they stand, like where are they in, in this category or in this kind of thoughts or thinking that we do have. So let's take an example. You're going on an interview. This is just I'm just talking about black people because I'm black. I can only talk about that. But if you're white, if you're Asian, if you're watching this, you'll have an opportunity to come on the live stream and share your opinion. Very soon I'll be sharing the link in the comment section. So let's say you're going on an interview, which I participated in a lot of interviews. And in that interview, you have a group of different races. You have Asian, you have black people, you have white people. And if the job is about, let's say, IT, technology, like information technology, something about computers and everything, black people, or let's say even white people, you're not gonna be considered simply because of that stereotypical that people they do have that Asian people they're always good at, when it comes to IT. The same thing if you're going and you're meeting you're in a business and you're black people, there's a lot of time that you are not gonna be able to get a chance simply because you're that. But if it's something about music audition, if something about like it's just funny, let's say sports or whatever, you might not even be able to do an interview and given opportunity to do right away simply because you're black and you're good at that. That's that's one of the things that even diasporas we found ourselves doing a lot of time when we're outside, working as a sport teacher. You might not even be able to play basketball. You never played before, or even soccer. You never played before, but because you're black, you're good at that. You'll be able to teach, or singing, something like that. So, in a way, for those people who are not good at those kind of things, they don't really have a, a chance in a society or to participate. But also in another way, if somebody has a stereotype to think that I'm good at business or I'm good at IT or whatever, that's a good thing to think of. But being seen as entertainers, that's basically for a long time, for many years, that's how I've seen a lot of us have been addressed. And this is not about pointing fingers to those people who are thinking that way, but it's basically pointing fingers at ourselves and how we see ourselves as Africans and how we put ourselves out there in the society to the point where the only thing that we're good at is entertainment. The only thing that we can be at risk with is entertainment, but it's not true because we have doctors, we have nurses, we have teachers, we have people who can innovate and create. We have people who, they're CEOs, they have business, they have companies. In Somalia, let's take an example in Somalia. In Somalia right now, when you go to Mogadishu, you'll find a lot of new hotels, a lot of new business, and most of owners of those business in that Somalia, they're actually African. So you come to realize that it's not just about entertainment, it's not just about that. And I've seen this even right now in the States. I think a lot of black people, they came to realize this, and you can take an example of people like, Kanye West, people like Jay-Z, people like Rihanna. When you talk about Rihanna, someone that never released album for a long time ago right now, now she's billionaire because she has actually focused on the business and doing that. Yes, of course, she started with music and all those kind of things, but you can see a rising up of a lot of black people and knowing and realizing that, you know what, I think the society just sees us as rappers, people who can create music and something like that, but we are more than that. We can actually be designer, we can do a lot of stuff in the society if we have been given an opportunity. Maybe, you might sit down there and wait for opportunities to come to you, but maybe you need to create your own opportunity. You need to start something new. And that's why today we're having this conversation, because we need to change our software in this mind that black people are all about entertainment. It's all about, that's the only thing that we can do the best. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that we think, or the word think we can do the best. I can go on and share my personal experience that I faced so many times that if I'll start singing, I'll just open my mouth and start saying something. Like people, they already think like, oh my goodness, you're really good at singing. I haven't even sung anything. You don't even know. In a way, it gives us opportunity to get all those kind of opportunity, but in the other side, it puts those people who cannot do those kind of stereotypical things that we think, it put them in a very difficult position. That, what about me? What about that person? So what can we do to change that? What we, what can we do to change those stereotypes that people can see? So, for example, for black people, we have the stereotype that they're entertainers, Asian IT, white people business, and people that can actually create opportunity and all those kind of things. Brown people, I gotta be very careful to point out about this because the stereotype we have about black, brown people is really bad. Um, but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk. I can only talk about what I see with my race and what I think we can change. But you guys, you have an opportunity to share your opinion as well. I shared the link in the comment section. If you click that link, it will lead you direct to the live stream and we can have a conversation. Okay, we already have Dr. Abeneza in the live stream right now. Dr. Abeneza,
Hey, MC.
what's up, my brother?
Everything good? What's up with you?
I'm good, I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you?
Oh, yes, I can hear you. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Let's do this.
So,
Mm. I see you outside. Where are you right now?
at my workplace, just visiting a farm.
Oh, it's sunny though.
Yeah, it is Sunday, but
Uh,
yeah, sometimes I just pop in.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. You have anything
I
to share? You can go ahead
okay.
and.
All right. I'm gonna turn the cam on because you can't hear me if the cam is on.
Oh, I can actually hear you.
You can hear me.
Yeah, clearly. I can hear you clearly. It's good to
Okay.
see
Good to see you too, brother.
you. And thank you for sharing the article.
Ah, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, yeah. hmm so, what is your opinion and what is your thought about this? I know we had this conversation before, and
Yeah.
it's I really want to be. Sometimes it's hard for me, to be to be really open about this and talk about it, but I can only say that it's very difficult. For instance, myself, my I didn't study about entertainment. I'm only doing this. I think it's something that is in my blood, but my I'm an economist, right? But it's something that I can't even do, or I'll not have that opportunity because of the stereotypes that we do have in our society and how the world sees and how the world assumes, when it comes to races and what they're good at doing. So, what is your opinion about this?
Uh, my feeling. I I don't know. It's really hard. I mean, it's okay to be fun. It's okay to make people
Mm-hmm.
laugh. Um, it's not a bad thing. People have
Mm-hmm.
different paths to choose. Some can be entertainers, some can be um, doctors, some can be pilots, and some can be engineers. The problem is, most of the influential people are not entertainers or in the entertainment industry. So
Mm-hmm.
most of the influencing people are actually in the tech business or in other businesses that that the world uh, sees. So when you look at it from that perspective, I think it's okay to be fun, to be around with, and it's
Mm-hmm.
okay to make people smile and laugh because that's the only gift
Yeah.
that humanity can give more beyond, like making someone smile for a day and just reminding them that
Mm.
it's okay. But the
Mm.
problem is, most Africans,
Mm.
for example, I can take you back to
Mm.
BBC, Al Jazeera, CNN,
Yeah. Right.
inside stories. For example, The
Mm.
Voice of Africa, African
Mm.
Voices, and blah blah. All those
Mm.
shows, they're not talking
Mm.
actually about Africa. They're just showing to
Mm.
the world that Africans are about only about some kind of art, like not
Mm.
really about freedom. For example, no
Mm.
one was no one was talking about the injustice that was happening in Africa, that the injustice
Mm.
or the stability that was happening in Africa. No one was talking about those things.
Mm.
They were only
Mm.
talking about African voices,
Yeah.
the music in Tanzania, the music in
Yeah.
Uganda, the music in South Africa. It's all about the music.
Mm. Mm.
We're way more than music. I mean, we have
Mm.
our own ups and downs in life. We are
Mm.
people like the rest of the world,
Mm.
and that's not the only thing that we provide to the world, like not it's not only music. We're more
mm.
than music. More than entertainment.
Yeah.
We have doctors here. We have surgeons here. We have
Mm,
engineers here. We
mm,
have
mm,
pilots here. We have, I don't know, different professional backgrounds, economists,
mm,
accountants.
mm,
Uh,
mm.
I mean, call it procurement managers, procurement supply chain officers. Those are all
Yeah.
professions that Africans are doing. But the only thing that
Mm, mm,
people intend to show about Africa is the dance. Africa is about the
yeah.
tradition, the culture. That's the only thing that people show.
Mm,
And
mm,
most of the time when African countries receive foreign guests, like for
mm,
example, when Obama came to Ethiopia, everybody was
yeah.
dressed up in a cultural clothes, and
Mm,
like trying to
mm,
show that our cultural clothes. I mean, why don't you just show
mm,
them a product that you made in Ethiopia, a product
yeah.
that you
Yeah.
produced by yourself? It could be a
Mm,
soap, it could be a furniture, it could be an electrical thing, it could be something. We're not showing that. We're just showing him how we're dressed. He didn't
yeah.
come here to see how we're dressed. That he can see
Mm-hmm.
in TV. Like you can
Mm,
see it
mm,
on Google. Google can give
mm,
you everything that you need. But
mm, mm.
that's what we always want to show, and that's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
the world. It's like this, like the
Mm,
Arabian population in Arab. Everybody
mm.
thinks Arabs are terrorists. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
the minute you talk about Saudi or Yemen or Afghanistan or Iraq, people are going to picture
Mm,
something in their mind because that's what they
mm,
built in them. Like, the
mm,
media produced that the idea of
mm,
Arab or Muslim is just related with
mm.
terrorism. So when you see
Yeah.
someone, it's
Mm,
easily, it's
mm,
systematic racism, one, and
mm,
systematic
mm.
oppression, two, and
Mm,
systematically, like demoralizing and diminishing and
mm,
dehumanizing uh,
mm,
based on a race, based on a religion.
mm.
Like
Yeah.
based on your religion, you're just
Mm,
stereotyped into a
mm,
group.
mm,
Like you're a
mm.
terrorist. Oh, so you guys are where the terrorism happens. Like most of the
Mm.
Muslims are terrorists. So blah blah. That's the
Yeah.
picture that the media wants to create about Arabs. The
Exactly.
same way they're trying to
Mm,
create about Africa. The voice of
mm.
Africa is only music. No, no way. We're not
Yeah.
just music.
Mm.
We have music,
Exactly.
amazing, beautiful
Mm,
music, but that doesn't mean
mm.
that we're just music. We're not the
That's not
keyboard or
all.
we're not the guitar. We
Yeah.
have a lot
Yeah.
to offer to the world. And when you think about it, there are lots of
Mm.
people who are actually, you know, African people who are actually
Yeah.
working in the CDC, who are actually working in NASA, who are actually
Yeah.
working in many other, like in Apple companies and
Exactly.
Samsung companies. There are.
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah.
they have given their knowledge and they have
Mm.
imparted their parts of contribution to the technology that we're using. But at the end
Mm.
of the day,
Mm.
the white dudes are like whoever. It's not just white, actually. It's this
Yeah.
Anglo-Saxon part is always
Mm.
coming up with different and unique ideas, and
Mm-hmm.
the rest, like Asia and I mean,
Yeah.
I have friends, like
Yeah.
from Europe, and they hate
Uh-huh.
Chinese. And when you
Mm.
ask
Mm.
them why they hate the Chinese,
Mm.
they don't even give you a justification. They'll just tell you, I don't know, I just
Mm-hmm.
hate them. Why do you hate them? Because they're
Yeah.
competing in technology. They're competing in many different things. The Chinese are hated by Europeans
Mm.
because they are the second
Mm.
biggest country and the second biggest
Yeah.
economy in the world.
Mm.
So most of the time, before you realize it, before you know it,
Yeah.
you're stereotyped based on your background, based on
Uh-huh.
your something like for example the things that you're doing. Based on that, they just,
Yeah.
even now, for like,
Mm. Mm.
most of the time they just want to raise. We're talking about African unity, and they'll tell you like,
Yeah.
you have interesting thoughts, like you have interesting thoughts, but
Yeah.
like, shouldn't you should be doing more, fun stuff. When it comes
Mm.
to
Mm.
Africa, you should be doing something fun.
Yeah.
It's all about
Mm.
dancing.
Mm.
And we have to change that. We have to change that picture of Africa in the
Mm.
eyes of the West, in the eyes of other people, and we really
Yeah.
have to work on becoming and showing what
Mm.
we can do. And the good
Yeah.
examples like are happening. For example, last time you said Europeans are talking about Africa. Africans are not
Yeah.
talking about Africa. For
Mm.
example,
Mm.
the
Mm.
zombies of Kenya. The
yeah,
Zombies of Nairobi. There is a documentary done by a Hispanic guy, I think.
mm,
So why does he have to come from somewhere else to show us that
yeah,
many Kenyans are suffering from this?
yeah, yeah,
Like,
mm,
so we have to work on changing the image, like
mm,
working on the changing the image part of Africa. We have to show them that we're way more than what they think we are.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not just because we're Africans, just because we're humans, actually.
You say something very interesting. You're spoken about. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm having a lot. Wait a bit. I'm having a lot of the. Let me try to put something here. I can hear myself, but oh,
I can hear you, MC.
I can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, all right. Yeah. So I'm saying you spoke. You point out something that is very interesting about like when we have like when the time that Obama came to Ethiopia or even to Tanzania because he came to Tanzania as well. Not only Obama, but when we have a lot of guests coming home, our focus most of the time is on the culture, like showing our clothes, like how we hit our drums or how we play all those things. And I think that's the image that everybody kind of has. That when when you look at Africans, you only think about, oh, these people, they're very energetic, and that's what I need. The only job that I can give them is something that you have to use a lot of your strength and not really your mind. So if it's anything related to your mind, I'll find somebody else. But if I want someone with power and strength, I need to find African, right? All these things, yes, they can have the good side, but the bad side is that that is the only way that we are seen.
Yeah,
That's the only way that we are being perceived. Like these people are good at this part, and when it comes to the most important thing, we are not really included. You know,
yeah,
included, and that's not how we are seen. And And I think we have to do something first from Africa and from our governments and how we show ourselves to the world. That is not just about culture, it's not just about traditions, but it's more than that. It's about we can innovate, we can create, we can be scientists, we can be like doctors, as you're saying, we can do anything else that everybody out there can do, right? We have people who are funny, we have people who are energetic, and we have people who they're not really energetic, but who they're smart, they can think, they're brave, and they can change the world. And that's true. That's how it is. So
yeah,
there's something to be changed within ourselves and how we act
hmm
and how we put ourselves out there.
yeah,
And I believe the world will respond to that as well. It will take some time, but it will happen, and it's going to happen.
definitely. I agree with you. Definitely, it will happen.
Mm,
It's going to need some changing and something
mm,
happening to the people's mentality.
yeah.
I was watching
Mm,
live show from Tunacheki, if you know that
mm,
channel.
mm, mm,
Um, Kind of, it's an African uh, channel, but they were talking about the African consciousness,
yeah.
and I was confused because I was watching, and the only thing they were talking about was
Mm,
something about I don't know 3,000 4,000 years ago.
mm,
Those histories about Ethiopia, African, what do you call it? This religious sects,
mm,
the things that we used to follow, and yeah,
yeah.
I mean history is okay.
Uh,
Talking about history is okay, but Our
mm,
ancestors just did the history part, and it's up to us to uphold that history. And
mm,
you learn from history.
mm,
That's an experience. Then
mm,
you live today and you plan tomorrow based on that history to not repeat the mistake of your ancestors
mm, mm,
and to move forward in the life that you're living currently.
mm,
So, like
mm,
for me, history is a lesson that I learned from my
mm,
forefathers,
mm,
um, of what they did, of what the great things they did, and then what
mm,
great mistakes they did at the same time.
yeah,
Then to
mm,
not repeat that mistake so that the vicious
mm,
circle doesn't continue. But
yeah,
knowing and talking about your history and being proud of it only is not going to change Africa. It's not going to change
mm-hmm,
any country in the world.
yeah, mm,
All you have to do is just learn from your past,
mm,
change your today, and fix your tomorrow.
mm,
So
mm,
that's what we need to think about. Um,
yeah,
and nobody is interested in talking about a united Africa. And even when you come to
mm,
Ethiopia, nobody is interested in talking about a united Ethiopia,
yeah,
because the second you see like unity, it has a
mm,
sense of it has a sense of this assimilation. It's becoming one. No, that's not actually true.
it's not true.
Uh, yeah, I mean, the Bible tells you a good example. A
Mm,
man will, take his woman, and they will just leave their parents, and they will
yeah,
become one.
mm,
Actually,
mm,
those are not one people. They're two people joined
mm,
in a joinment, in an attachment called marriage. And that's what it's
yes,
talking about. The unity is in the
mm,
marriage, not in the people. The people are two different people,
mm,
because one is a man, the other is a woman. They can't be one. I mean, they can't be. You
yeah,
can't call them. They're if you call them one, they're going to be genderless. So
mm,
one has to be, a female, and the other has to be a male. And then,
mm,
like when you see that, it's a marriage concept. So in marriage, there is
mm,
unity. In marriage, there is, being one together, like
yeah,
thinking
mm,
like one. But that
mm,
doesn't mean that they don't have differences between them. They will have fights, they will
exactly.
have ups and
Yes.
downs. So like
Mm-hmm.
the same is true for African unity or any country's unity. When they're
Mm,
united, they have their own differences. If you go
mm,
to the so-called democratic country in
mm,
the world, ideally, not when you look at it, the truth is, I mean,
mm,
it's a different story. But the
yeah,
on the democratic state, the so-called democracy center,
mm,
America, there are
mm,
54 or 53 states or 55 states. I don't know the number, but all those states have different opinions about, Republican, Democrats, and all those things. There is a huge difference
yeah,
between them, but they stand for one
mm,
thing: a United States
mm-hmm.
of America. So the
Yes.
same is true here for Africans. It's not about becoming
Mm,
same and similar. It's all
mm,
about working for a common goal. Like I
mm,
said, when you work on your education system, change it from competition to cooperation,
mm,
uh, cooperative education system, then you change the mindset of the people into, instead of a competitive state, which is a
mm,
prey and a predator's mindset. That's
mm,
what we have now, like a prey and a
mm,
predator. That's
mm,
the education system in Africa.
yeah.
But
Mm, mm,
it shouldn't be like that. It has to be a cooperative, where there is a crocodile, then there's the bird that takes the meat out of the teeth of the crocodile.
mm,
They
mm,
profit from, you know one another's cooperation. That's how it
yeah.
should be.
Mm, mm,
But the education system, the in Africa, and the education system in the rest of the world is completely different, and
mm,
imagination is gone. Kids don't imagine anymore. Uh,
uh,
they're already westernized. Being like
mm,
the white folks is more fun and entertaining,
mm,
and
mm,
accepted than
yeah.
being yourself. Dressing up as an
Yeah.
African,
Mm,
uh, talking an
mm,
African language. People
mm,
prefer
mm,
learning different languages. For example,
yeah.
people prefer learning French, people prefer
Mm,
learning Arabic, people prefer
yeah.
learning English or
Mm,
some other language over, like, and I believe, I believe for me, I don't want to go outside of my country.
Yeah.
People have been really asking me, why don't you go for a scholarship and all those things you can fill up. You can. Now, I don't wanna. Like, I have a degree and I haven't even used it properly. I haven't even worked and provided with that degree for my country. Why am I going out? I mean, so to get another master's degree, then I come back, or am I gonna stay there? Because I don't want to lose this passion about Ethiopia and lose this
Yeah,
passion
yeah.
about Africa. And I'm not saying you lose it, but
Yeah,
when you're
yeah.
here, you
I
can
feel
see the
that.
problem and you can talk about that problem. Like, for example, if I
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
here on the ground in Ethiopia, I wouldn't be telling you about what Ethiopia looks like, how Ethiopia is suffering from the West influence, how
Yeah.
we can unite as an African, and that Africa needs to come together to fight the influence of the West. To be honest with you, if there were sanctions that were ordered on the entire Africa,
Mm,
I would call that one a success story, because
mm,
if they stop the trade sanction between Africans and the West and the East and the Americans and the Canadians and all those guys, say, like, you know what, we're not doing trades anymore. The
mm,
first losers are going to be them, because many mechanical things, metal things, everything that the computer, the mobile phones, the drones that they're producing, the jets that they use, whatever is produced, the materials are coming from Africa. So if you cut yourself from Africa, actually you can't live. So they're not going to do that. So we have to
yeah.
be, we shouldn't be scared of, losing our connection with them. Like, they should be scared, actually. The second we wake up, we're going to cut it off, and we're going to set a high price, and our money is going to be bit closer to the dollar and to the euro. And so, like, that's why they're scared, actually. Now they can use 1 euro in Ethiopia, which is 60 birr in Ethiopia. So they can come to Ethiopia with 1 euro. They can do lots of things. For example, if you go to, there are lots of Netherlands companies in Ethiopia. If you go to the Netherlands, milk is, I don't know, 17 birr in a liter. But in Ethiopia, it's almost 60 birr a liter or 50 birr a liter. So working here is actually more beneficial for them than for us. So
Yeah.
they know it, and they're not going to do that. They're not going to sanction trade relationships with Africa or anything. So we shouldn't be scared of losing. Shouldn't be scared of speaking out our hearts to the world and telling them this is time for Africa, and you have to accept it, because we just woke up and you made us asleep for a long while, and now we are awake and we want to negotiate. Like, we have to sit there. We have to be the ones that decide on what happens to the world with the world. It's a question of, are we even citizens of the world? Do we even belong in the world? It's because, as an African, this is one of the failures of actually
That's a good
African
question.
governments. Because when you look, for example, I heard a story from a friend of mine who came from the United States. She was in a line and
Wait, wait.
what?
Before
Oh,
we move on,
okay.
because there's so many informations right now you're giving.
Okay.
Let's stick with the question that you just asked right now. That do we even belong to the world? Because I still want to connect the topic that we are talking about, that black people are not just about
Hmm.
entertainment, to the question that you just point out, just that do we even belong to the world? Because the world that we are having right now, it's, of course, entertainment is very important part to put a smile on your face because of the crisis that we are going through right now as a world. So it's very important. But the world that we're having right now, it's about technology, it's about innovation, it's about designing, it's about all this thing that most of the time Africa we are not included. we we're we know that we're
Mhm.
very important because most of all these things that they're doing, if it is technology, if it's designing, if it's everything, you need resources. And where are you going to find resources? From Africa. So we're playing a big role in providing resources and providing the utilities to create, to start.
Mhm. I can't hear you, MC. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me
Now I
now?
can hear you. Now I can hear you.
All right, all right. Let's talk about phone. We know that Congo is one of the places that actually provide the resources to make these phones that we're using, right? And we can talk
Yeah.
about minerals. We can talk about all kind of resources,
Yeah.
right? And so we know that the world needs Africa to survive. When you
True.
people talk about anything, they need to survive. Um,
Yeah.
so, but we see that we don't have, as if we don't have a place in the world, but at the same time we matter a lot, and we are the reason why the world is keep moving on right now because of so many things that are going on, right? We're part of
True.
the puzzle, but most of the time we're excluded from that puzzle, and we've been given credit, or we've been given space that it doesn't really mean anything. Like it's as if like we're not being listened. What
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
matters to us is we're not really given to us, or it's not really there. But what we don't even ask for, it's always there, right?
Yeah.
And you can only be a black man and successful if you're entertainer,
Mhm.
musician, actor, comedian, or whatever. But if you're a businessman, if you're an innovator, it's gonna be really hard for you even to for the West to back you up or anything like that.
Yeah.
Of course, we don't need that. But coming back to your question, that do we even have a space in this world?
Uh. Yeah. Well, we don't. The truth is,
Mm,
they don't want us. They don't want us to have a place in this world.
mm, mm,
If the only thing that they want from Africa
mm,
is the resource, you know,
mm,
they would. I would say they would even go to committing genocide on Africa, the entire Africa, to keep
mm.
Africa the way it is.
Yeah.
I would go to that point because
Mm,
what they're currently doing is not less than genocide.
mm,
They're always there to create chaos, and they're always there to
mm,
support the ones that are creating chaos and the ones that are being
mm,
affected by the chaos. They give them weapons
mm,
so that they can fight with each other. You have to defend yourself. So
mm.
some other country comes and decides
Yeah.
on your own state what
Mm,
you should do about what's happening in your country, about your
mm,
elections. I,
mm-hmm,
I mean, who made them decide on a
mm,
sovereign land? I mean, there is this thing called sovereignty,
mm.
right? So they come on a sovereign land and they say
Yeah.
they're not the ones who are voting for example, for the prime minister of Ethiopia. They're not the voters. We are the voters.
Mm,
As a voter, have decided that the prime minister should continue if we want to
mm.
survive this storm
Yeah.
that's coming on our way.
Mm,
So
mm,
after we have decided that, they will go there
mm,
and they will say, no, the election wasn't fair because there weren't
mm,
European observers, there weren't uh, United Nations observers, blah, blah. Who
mm,
made the United Nations an observer?
mm,
Who made the United
mm.
Nations the standard maker? Or who made the Europe
Yeah.
the standard maker? Aren't the
Mm,
Europeans the ones that
mm,
destabilized, colonized, massacred,
mm,
and tortured,
mm,
chained Africans like dogs in a house
mm,
back in the days? Isn't that what the history is telling us? And who
mm,
made them the ones with a
mm,
standard? They were
mm,
actually the cannibals of the world back in the
mm,
days.
mm,
Now they come to you as
mm,
an angel sent from heaven, and they just tell you like your election was not fair and equal, blah blah. Your system is not correct. Like I feel like, are you kidding me? Like, are you serious? Because I can go back in history and I'll show you what you did to Africa. I'll show you what you have done, what your ancestors have done. So I can't take like, you need to have a moral ground to tell Africa like we didn't colonize anyone. We didn't go to anyone's place. We stayed on our land because our land was self-sufficient. They came to us because they were desperate, because there was no resource in their land. So they came to us. They did not only come to us, they didn't live with us. They massacred us. They chained us. They took us back to their land so that we can establish the country that they call today. And then after this, they will tell us that there is a standard. Who set the standards? A colonizer? I mean, a colonizer is a colonizer. It's for me, the colonization process is not still done yet. You know, like still survives in Africa. It's still surviving in the world.
Oh, it's happening right now.
It's happening right now. Right now, they're trying to be the colonizers. You know, in a modern day colony, a democracy, or a, what do you call it? Whatever they call it, a free land of the world. So they're doing it right now. Actually, they're killing black people just because they're black in America. I mean, how can a country that says I'm democratic, I live democracy consists, equality and like in between there are rights, political rights, human rights, all those things are there. But American black people who built America from the scratch with the Americans who were there, even though they were slaves, they're being killed on sight. They're being killed for just being black. Just being black. Is that enough to kill someone? I mean, then like you look at the instability they were creating in Iraq. It was the war in Iraq, okay? And atrocities were committed by the United States government and by also the Taliban in Afghanistan. But you know what America said when the ICC, International Criminal Court, opened a case against American atrocities? America said, we didn't sign the International Criminal Court treaty, so it's out of your jurisdiction. And I dug more, and Ethiopia didn't sign the International Criminal Court treaty with the ICC. So Ethiopia cannot be questioned by the ICC, or Ethiopian Prime Minister cannot be questioned by ICC. So these are the things that they do. Like when they do the atrocities, when they're the ones who are doing it, they can put words like jurisdiction, we didn't sign the agreement, and blah blah. But when you're doing it, not actually committing atrocity, when you're defending yourself, they will tell you that you're crossing the line, human rights violation. They go to Uganda, actually Rwanda, where the French were involved in the genocide of people in Rwanda. Then the French still want to put their hands in the regime of Kagame, and they want to tell Kagame how to lead the country. I mean, isn't it Kagame's job to lead his own country? Why is the West still invested in Africa? We choose our religion. We choose what we follow. We choose how we lead our people. It's not up to them. It's not up to the Islamic system, the Sharia system. It has been working for Saddam Hussein. It's been working for Afghanistan. It's been working for Libya. Why did they kill Gaddafi? Because they hated him. There's no reason behind it. Not because they want to, defend the Libyan people. They just did it because they want to remove a government that's not obedient for America or for Europe or for West. In general, they're still in that colonial mindset so that they can govern you based on the money. Actually, the money is coming from us. This is what Africa needs to hear. Africa needs to wake up with its resource and realize and say no more exploitation, no more oppression.
We
yeah,
make the deals. You don't make the
mm,
deals. America's big
mm.
motto is we don't deal with terrorists,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
they want you to deal with their. They want you to sit down and negotiate with terrorists because they
mm.
support the terrorists. This is weird for me. Like, do unto others what you
Mm.
want to be done on you, right?
Yeah,
If your neighbor is not at peace, that's what you said. If your neighbor is
mm.
not at peace, you can never be at
Mm.
peace. So
Mm.
if Sudan is not at peace, Ethiopia cannot be at peace. So they create
Mm.
instability in Sudan. They give Sudan an option. Hey, if you can take the land from Ethiopia, we'll support you with military strategies and
Yeah,
all those things. And we'll give you a
mm.
ground from the United Nations. I mean, if I'm a government, if I have full authority as a UN or as a EU, if I have all the stamps, I can just create new laws, new boundaries, new borders. I
Mm.
mean,
Mm.
who are they to set the standards for us? We're not even part of them. Ethiopia
Yeah,
established the United Nations long ago,
mm.
the
Mm.
African Union long ago. One of the
Mm.
establishing African countries is Ethiopia for United Nations.
Mm.
But Ethiopia doesn't have a say in the United Nations. They
Mm.
have the say. They have all the say. They decide for you. They decide how you conduct your election. They decide how you even talk. I mean, that is sick for
Mm.
me. I mean, you have
That's
to
some
be,
sick.
what do you call it, politically correct. I'm sorry if I'm not politically correct. I'm sorry if I'm really still hurt by the colonial mindset that they still have.
Yeah.
But there is
Mm.
no such thing uh,
Mm.
called that we are the superiors, you're the inferiors. We're all
Mm.
humans made of out of
Yeah.
the dust of the ground. So we're going
Exactly.
to the ground and we're fighting for
Mm.
that ground that we're going into. So
Mm.
actually, we're equal. We're equal.
Yeah.
I'm as human as you are, and you're as human as I am. Because
Mm-hmm.
just my country is poorer than yours, it doesn't give you
Mm.
any single right to
Mm.
dehumanize me and tell me what to do and how to do it, how to breathe,
Mm.
how
Mm.
to eat, how to dress,
Mm.
what to
Mm.
talk about. Africa is
Yeah.
way beyond more than the
Yeah.
things that they think we are. Like Africa
Mm.
is not an
Yeah.
entertainer. Actually,
Mm. Mm.
Africa is the
Mm.
center where the
Mm.
world breathes from. Africa is the lung
Yeah.
of the world, the heart
Yeah.
of the world. This is
Mm.
where the resource is coming. This is where the
Mm.
green area is. This is where
Mm.
the perfect weather is. So
Mm. Mm.
if they disconnect
Mm.
themselves from Africa, they definitely will die. It's like
Mm.
disconnecting yourself from a glucose provided to
Mm.
you by a doctor. So you wouldn't do that.
Mm.
What you do
Yeah.
is you keep
Mm.
hanging the glucose without no
Mm.
reasons, tied up, and
Mm.
you decide
Mm.
when to disconnect it.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
they're the
Yeah.
doctors and they're also the
Mm.
patients at the same time. And Africa is the glucose. No say in it,
Mm.
just going inside the
Mm.
body of the world. We
Mm.
haven't said anything about the establishment of a law in the United Nations, anything in the
Yeah.
establishment of the law in the criminal activities, which should be considered as an international criminal uh,
Mm.
judgment for the international
Mm.
criminal law.
Mm.
We don't have a say. They decided that,
Mm.
and when they don't like it,
Mm.
and when the country is stronger, they don't say anything about that. When the country is
Mm.
weaker, they want to
Mm.
paralyze the country. This is for me like, I don't know,
Yeah.
psychopathic method of dealing with other nations.
Yeah. Man, Dr. Ebenezer, I really appreciate, man, your thoughts.
Thank you. And I've been talking a lot, I think.
Mm. Oh, you've always been talking a lot, but it's good.
Okay. Is that supposed to be a compliment or?
Yo, no, there's a different when someone talks a lot and everything is a point, and another person talks a lot and it's nonsense.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I can't hear you, MC.
I'm using I'm using
I can
my
hear you
phone
now.
here, and today for some reason I just received a lot of calls.
Okay.
All right, brother. Bro, I'll just let you go, and I'll be closing out this one.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you, MC. So
Right.
anything you want to say, we can talk about it. And
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
well,
Definitely.
all right,
All right.
bye.
All right, guys. Again, appreciate for Dr. Ebenezer coming out and share the opinion. I've always been sharing the link. You guys do not hesitate to share your opinion too, because your opinion matters, and you have a voice, and God has given you a voice to speak, to say something. Uh, is there echo right now? Can you guys hear echo with me right now? Please let me know in the comment section right now so that I may see what I can do. Is there an echo right now? I hate if there's an echo here. I don't wanna. Can you guys hear me right now? Is there an echo? Yeah. So you have a voice, as I was saying, and it's very important to let your voice be heard. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be scared of anything. You have a voice. God has given you a voice to speak and to say something. The topic of today, and if you're joining right now, please, after the end of this live stream, you can go back and try to listen what we're talking about. Um, One question that Dr. Ebenezer asked that it was very important, and I feel like we need to ask ourselves that as an African or Africa, do we even have a place in this world? Because if when you look at colonialism back in the days and right now, it's still there, but it's just in a different picture right now. Like before, you had a devil who looks like devil. Right now, you have a devil who looks like an angel, which is more dangerous than the previous devil. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a metaphor. I'm not calling anybody devil here, and I'm not creating any anger towards other race or any anger towards other countries. But we are talking about Africa, and when we're talking about Africa, we have to talk about issues that we are facing and things that they're actually disvaluing Africa. I'm not okay to be called entertainer. I'm not okay to be just called comedian. I can be comedian. I can be funny. I can be a musician. Everybody's. I can be like sportman, but I'm more than that. I'm not just that. But the society, the way it sees, that's how the society sees. Look at the Olympics right now. Just take an example of Olympics. Yes, we are happy that when it comes to running, we always have Ethiopia leading or Kenya leading. We always have that, and we have seen even yesterday and the other days before. But that's all about Africa. You know what I'm saying? It's about sports. It's about entertainment. But it's not about that. Every single resources you say in this world, if it is food, if it is you know minerals, if it is your phone that you're using, a lot of things, almost everything, they come from Africa. That's that's Africa. That's Africa. Like that's who we are. You are, and as an African, I'm talking to you Africans out there that you are important. You matter. You are not just what you do. All right. You might be doing something, but that's not who you are. Just the fact that you are doing music, it doesn't make you musician and that's it. No, you're more than that. That's what I'm saying. And we need to open our mind. I think because the opportunities in this world has always been leading us to entertainment. So the only thing we can think of is entertainment. You can talk to a lot of young folks out there, Africans, and everybody will be like, hey, you know what? I want to be a musician. I wanna be, my dream when I was before I turned 16, my dream was to be a rapper. And because I started to rap long time ago when I was in elementary school. I started to sing long time ago when I was in, Sunday school church. I was doing that all the time. It's part of the culture. So I can sing, I can do music and do that. All those things are part of the culture, is a part of the society, but it's not everything about me. You know what I'm saying? We talked about when we have guests, and the only thing that we can show is about our clothes, like showing all these traditional clothes or dancing and playing some drums, and that's how people. It's the time to show different sphere because that's what people knows. Ask anyone about African culture. You can ask anyone in this world, and they will tell you that those guys they know how to dance. Oh, their clothes. Oh, their hair. Oh, That's the only thing that they know. But there's there are good dads out there, good doctors out there like Dr. Ebenezer, there are and Dr. Sadeke. There are good nurses there. There are good politicians. There are good everybody, good human being out there. It's more than how the world portrays us in our sources. And I said already that a lot of black people, even in America, they realize that already. That's why a lot of them right now they're engaging in business. They used to be musician, they used to be rapper, but now they're focusing on business, and that's the only thing they focus on. Why? Because we have to change this stereotype, and this it can go to other races as well. But I cannot talk about other races because I'm not them, right? I can only talk about Africa because I'm an African. But if you are from another race and you want to have conversation, well, I have link in the comment section. You can share. Anyways, but this is how we have to see ourselves because you cannot expect someone to see you different if you don't see yourself different, right? You cannot say that I have a value, you have to respect me, and you don't respect yourself. Respect begins from yourself, right? Do you respect yourself, right? Do you think you have value? Huh? And if you don't think you have value, then nobody can see your value, you know what I'm saying? And it matters. Even the Bible says, um, you are who you believe yourself you are. Like the way you see yourself, that's who you will become. If I see myself poor, that's who I will be. If I see myself nothing, that's how I'll be. All right. I'm not just entertainer, you know? And I think that's why right now we're having this conversation. Right now we are having this live stream, you know, because it's not everything about entertainment and Africa is more than that. We have to change this narrative. We have to change the way we think and we have to wake up because we are the very important puzzle in a whole puzzle that is this world. We are very important. Very, very important. Everyone matters, and certainly Africa, Africans matters. We have been oppressed, depressed for a long time, but it's a time to rise up and to wake up and to speak and to raise your voice. You know what I'm saying? Your voice. It's the time to become one and to raise our voice together. Tell this world who we really are. Yeah, guys, I appreciate for joining me today. Again, I want to remind you, um, we're releasing a video, my interview that I've done with Mwende Mwinzi, the Kenya's ambassador to South Korea. We've spoken about these things. We've spoken about education system in Africa. We've spoken about dual citizenship. We've spoken about One Africa. We've spoken about AU. We've spoken about a lot of stuff. It will be up after 30 minutes from now. I'm releasing that video 30 minutes from now. So please stay right there. I'll be there in the comment section. You can share your opinion, you can share your comment, and I'll be there to respond and to talk to you guys. Yes. I appreciate you guys for joining me today. I'll give you a break for those 30 minutes and please come back to support the live stream. You can share, you can comment, and whenever you share on your social media, don't forget to tag us. Swahili Nation, we are available on Instagram, we are available on Twitter as well. We just opened Twitter account. There's so many Swahili Nation there, but all of them are not me, they're fake. Our Twitter account, it has SN, the logo you see here on 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 YouTube, as well as the cover you see on YouTube. It's also on Twitter. So go follow us right now, and don't forget to tag us anytime you share something related to Africa or the Swahili Nation as well. Yeah, guys, I appreciate it. I love you, and thank you for joining me today. I'll see you soon after 30 minutes for the amazing